I suffer from a known documented condition called anaphylaxis, sorry. And it is to known and unknowns. I've been hospitalized 3 times since 2013. So in August, when I went to see my doctor, he had offered to write me a medical exemption. And I said, nah, I'm good. I don't think I'll need it. September 23rd, CNRL announced their mandate. So I have a good rapport with my family doctor. I have his number, and I called, or I texted him, and I said, about that exemption you offered, can we talk about that now? He said, we cannot. He said, we have received direction from the CPSA to not write any exemption for any reason whatsoever. And yesterday, without a written, without a verbal, without anything, my department manager called me and said they would no longer be employing me, and that I would be dismissed without cause.
But what's really important to see there is that CNRL is blinked. That's what that is, right? Instead of enforcing like they said they were going to, they've moved it back, just like AHS did. So we're filing a statement of claim for wrongful dismissal.
Today, I'm bringing you a brief update to the story of the employees at CNRL, or Canadian Natural Resources Limited, who have joined together to fight their workplace vaccine mandate. Now, in that previous video for me, you met Naomi Smart. She's a 20-year employee of the company who suffers from extreme anaphylaxis. And so she was advised by her doctor not to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Her employer, however, wouldn't budge, leaving her in the position of losing her job or risking her life and leaving her son without a mother should she die. So we put her together with FightVaccinePassports.com, along with some of the other employees at CNRL who found themselves in a similar position as Naomi. Fight Vaccine Passports has taken on the cost to pay for their incredible lawyer, James Kitchen. And all of that, though, has been made possible through your generous crowdfunding donations to Fight Vaccine Passports. And your donations there qualify for a charitable tax receipt through an important partnership with the Democracy Fund. Now, this morning I met with James Kitchen, the lawyer for that group of CNRL employees, including Naomi, for an update to the case. You see, Naomi was identified by her employer as the organizing employee of this legal effort, and so she was terminated for it, not because of anything she did at work, but because she exercised her rights as a Canadian citizen to get legal advice.
And yesterday, without a written, without a verbal, without anything, my department manager called me and said they would no longer be employing me, and that I would be dismissed without cause.
And so James is helping her fight back there too. Here's what he had to say.
CNRL had initially announced, I believe in September, that they were going to put everybody who did not get double vaxxed with the COVID vaccines on unpaid leave by December 1st. And as I've said before, unpaid leave is just a fancy made up term for constructive dismissal, right? If you're on unpaid leave, you're not working and you're not getting paid. That's the same thing as being without a job. That's what unpaid leave means. So basically they were going to terminate them on December 1st, right? And so there was a large group, and I got to commend these folks. They're, in the face of a lot of coercion, a lot of pressure, a lot of risk, anxiety about trying to pay the bills. These people, a lot of these people, hundreds of these people, potentially thousands, have stood their ground and said no. And so they hired me. I wrote a letter, no response, no surprise there. I told them about that. But I always told them, look, let's wait to see what CNRL does on December 1st, because I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do what they say they're going to do right now, kind of like AHS. And I always told them, look, if enough of you can just stand strong and keep saying no, CNRL is going to look at this and be like, what can we do? There's too many of them, right? Well, sure enough, in mid-November, a random email comes from CNRL to all the CNRL employees saying, well, actually what we're going to do is that you're not going to be put on unpaid leave on December 1st. You're going to be put on paid leave until December 23rd. Okay. Now, that's not a whole lot of solace for those who are still looking, potentially losing their income and losing their job. But what's really important to see there is that CNRL is blinked. That's what that is, right? Instead of enforcing like they said they were going to, they've moved it back, just like AHS did, because too many Too many CNRL employees have courageously stood their ground and said, no, we're not going to do this no matter how much coercion you put on us. So what does CNRL do? Well, it's like poker, right? They've been called on their bluff. So they don't follow through. They just say, oh, we're going to push it back and just coerce you some more, right? And I am very curious to see what CNRL does. I mean, obviously, if they put their people on unpaid leave on December 23rd, that's just even more cruel than the typical cruelty we see right now, because that's Christmas. But I think this is important because in this staring contest, CNRL has blinked first. And I've told these people, look, this is very little to do, I think, with my letter. I think it has mostly to do with your courageous stance and the fact that you're not backing down. And of course, the excellent media coverage we've gotten as well. I think that's really what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And I've told a lot of my clients this, right? If we're going to win this in the short run, if we're going to win this and you people are going to keep your rights and keep your jobs, it's going to be more about you courageously standing your ground than about lawyers coming in and saving you. We have a role, right? We kind of bring the big backup guns, but really it's you guys standing your ground and just saying no. The other thing with CNRL is that, of course, Naomi Smart was the wonderful, brave lady who kind of, unofficially organized this group and got it going and hired me and got that letter out. And she was randomly fired on October, I think it was 26th. She got a call from the president of CNRL, just like a quick 60, 90-second phone call, said, you're done. And then she got a document saying, you're done. We're letting you go. Absolutely no reasons. Okay. None at all. Not even pretend reasons, which often there's pretend reasons. No reasons at all. Just you're done. And you're done today. And they offered her about $3,000 and said, if you take this $3,000, if you have to agree not to sue us, and then we'll give you this $3,000. She's been there for 20 years. If she's let go like this for no reason, she's entitled to probably 18 to 24 months of compensation. So actually hundreds of thousands of dollars, not $3,000. So awful that they would do this, right? So and the fact that there was no reasons offered, well, we know what the real reasons are. CNRL found out what she was doing, didn't like it, and wanted to punish her for it. And you know what I really think is even worse is what it is it's trying to nail her skin to the fence post to scare everybody else away. So we're filing a statement of claim for wrongful dismissal, which is interesting because this case really isn't about the vaccine mandate itself per se. It's about firing somebody when they've exercised their lawful right to hire a lawyer and to talk to their colleagues. That's really what her case is going to be about. The issue is that somebody has fired somebody who's been working in a job for 20 years just because they hired a lawyer and talked to their colleagues. And there's no way we can abide by that in a country that has any respect for the rule of law and rights and freedoms of employees and individuals. So I look forward to running this case and to getting justice for Naomi because she deserves it.
This kind of absolute garbage makes me appreciate the bravery of people like Naomi and her colleagues even more. They're putting their jobs and their livelihoods and their ability to pay their bills and take care of their families on the line for moral and ethical reasons. They're probably the best people at their workplace, and yet they're being actively purged from the workplace because they are the most moral. It's probably not a wise business decision for the long-term survival of a company, that's for sure, but I suppose time will tell. But in the immediate moment, we need to fight these vaccine passports wherever we can find them. And we're doing that by working with Fight Vaccine Passports, an initiative of the Democracy Fund to take 20 strategic legal cases in jurisdictions all across Canada. No person should be fired because they are declining a medical procedure that could put their life at risk. And no person should be fired because they got legal advice to ensure their own rights were protected. Now, if you'd like to help us help Naomi and her fellow, now former CNRL colleagues, please visit fightvaccinepassports.com and make a donation today. And that donation qualifies for a charitable tax receipt. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. If you'd like to help us help Naomi Smart and the other employees at CNRL, Canadian Natural Resources Limited, fight their workplace vaccine mandate, please donate today at fightvaccinepassports.com, and all donations there qualify for a charitable tax receipt through the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund.